Hello, brothers and sisters. I hope you're well. This is something I've been saying since I was 12, which is when I became more aware of the actual global situation and the reason why many African countries are not able to move forward. Since then, I lost complete hope in the United Nations, in the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and all these international institutions that were created after the Second World War or even before by Western nations, which did not have the intent to support African countries in their development. So, if there is someone to blame for the underdevelopment of African countries and the fact that they are kept in the state in which they are at the moment, it's just Europe. You cannot blame African countries. You cannot blame African presidents like many brothers and sisters like to do. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to blame the one you see, the one you think is taking or is making decisions in the country, the corrupt leader. But behind the corrupt leader, just like in Chile, you have Pinochet, but you have Margaret Thatcher in the UK supporting this guy. You have Reagan in the USA supporting this guy. He was a dictator. He mass analyzed thousands of people in Chile. Okay? And when you look at African countries, you have Burkina Faso today, a country that has been under attack by terrorist groups every single day, unaliving hundreds, if not thousands, of civilians, innocent civilians, forcing them to fight against the government. Then we found out that many of these terrorists, they are crossing the border from a neighboring country. One of these neighboring countries is actually Ivory Coast. So something is going on in Ivory Coast today. The internet has gone completely down. We're receiving videos, short videos of people running around. We can hear gunshots. And we've seen the special forces taking control over some government buildings. It seems like there is a coup d'etat going on in the country. Ivory Coast have been one of the countries that have been criticizing criticizing Burkina Faso for a long time. They've been criticizing Mali, Niger, all these countries that decided to get rid of the corrupt leaders through a military coup, which is something that I personally do not support. But if it's the only way, it's the only way. So now it seems like his people from Ivory Coast, they have learned this formula. The way in which you get rid of a corrupt government that all is doing is the work of the West. I did show you videos on Telegram of these motorbikes from these jihadis that they have been left at the border. They basically capture trucks full of oil, petrol, to fill these motorbikes that the jihadis use to launch striking lightning attacks in different villages against the army, against innocent civilians. So now we have this going on in Ivory Coast, a very, very important country. Important because it's one of the most and key important countries for France at this point. Ivory Coast has access to the sea. Now, if France loses this country as a friendly country, remember, like last year, they removed the French troops from the country. The president was acting like he was being anti-French, trying to find some solution to the French occupation of the country, but that wasn't true. He was just getting ready to do the dirty work for the French. And he has been doing that. Now, people have been saying that he was the one actually supporting all these terrorist groups that have been launching attacks in countries like Burkina Faso. This is just wrong. It's completely wrong. And obviously, as Africans, when you see that your leader is behaving in this way, supporting terrorism in other countries, people terrorizing the local population, unaliving them by the thousands, in the worst ways possible, you have to take action. Same thing in Rwanda. Although the people in Rwanda, they're not politically aware as the people in Ivory Coast are. The people in Rwanda, they're too comfortably living under Paul Kagame. But he's doing exactly the same thing. He's financing the M23. He's financing Rwandan troops or other jihadist groups to go into the eastern part of the Congo and unalive civilians and steal resources. So this was what apparently Ivory Coast was doing. Have been caught And now the military, apparently today, are still waiting for more information, more clear information, but it seems like they're taking over the government in the country. We have the special forces that have rebelled against the government, that have taken over control. You have people in the street, massive crowds on the street shouting, we're going to get rid of this president. All because he has misbehaved. He betrayed his nation in the worst way possible, which is supporting the very enemy many countries around the world that are trying to fight and to eradicate. Now you can see who is actually supporting these groups, that they are creating mayhem all over the Sahel region, all over Africa in general. Since 2011, the amount of terrorist activities in different African countries has increased significantly. There was a key event, which was the war in Libya, the bombing of Libya, and the removal of Muammar Gaddafi. I'm not saying that Muammar Gaddafi was the hero of Africa, but he has a good intention in mind, okay, for the continent. Although it was more focused on Islam and it was more Arab-centric, okay, but he had good intentions for the continent. And he was one of the key players in stopping all this from happening. But then, as soon as Libya was destabilized, all these individuals living in the South Libya, they moved into different countries, okay? They moved into Burkina Faso, they moved into Niger, and many of them, with nothing, they joined these terrorist groups, and they have been the one terrorizing the population, unaliving soldiers. It seems like the people of Ivory Coast, they're very, very politically aware. They know the history. And before this president, there was another president called Gbagbo. This guy was removed from power by the French. They actually sent the army to remove this guy from power because they did not agree with the election results. They actually say that he lost. So they got some stooge from the IMF to run the country. And he's meant to be a good economist. But look at the state of the economy of the country today. And look at what he's doing on the name of the people from Ivory Coast. If the news we're getting from this country is true, today this is over. It's over for him and hopefully for the neighboring countries that have been suffering under the financing of these terrorist groups that have been terrorizing African countries. I want to tell you that when you look at Africa and the problems, when I say you cannot blame the African president because they are no more than administrators, they are managers of a colonial economic administration. That's what actually many African countries are. They are not nations. They are not sovereign states. They are economic administrations in which other countries, through the neoliberal system, they exploit the natural resources, they exploit the population. And when they see that we are racing, they use terror. They use terror against us to threaten us, to put us back into our position and to destroy our will to continue fighting. But there are people out there that they're tired of this. The internet is an AK-47 in our hands, basically. The internet, our keyboard, is our weapon today. And you can see how there are many African people out there sharing the news, showing the truth to the people. And it's time now to wake up. It's time now to see the truth that we have been saying for many years, because we've been studying this for a long time. Obviously, we're not empowered to take actions, but those who are doing it, big support to Burkina Faso and what they've done in the country, the changes that they're doing in the country, and let's see what's going on with Ivory Coast. Because if what we've been getting on the news is true, a coup d'etat is going on, and the current president maybe he has been removed from power, or even worse. Anyways, as always, please like this video, share it, and as always, brothers and sisters, I'll continue informing you.